Another video on how to stay productive. To get the most out of your limited time, let's just say this: you need to think about and set realistic writing goals to actually achieve them. There are so many practical strategies that can help you stay productive, avoid burnout, and make meaningful progress in your writing journey. But today, we're going to go over a few steps for you to take back that control. Okay, we're going to go over some steps for you to take back control over your time and show you scheduling and how to organize that schedule, and one that I have made for myself that helps, especially when I feel like I'm veering off of what I need to be doing. And by the way, that file is available for free in the folder, right in the top pin comment. Just click that and you'll see it there. Okay. So whether you're struggling to find time to write or want to create a more consistent writing habit, this video will be for you. Yeah. So we're going to talk about how to set realistic writing goals and stay productive. But Thomas, why should I set realistic writing goals? Well, I should say setting realistic writing goals helps you stay productive in the sense that it keeps you organized in time, allows you to realize what is available and what is not available, and keeps a steady progression on your projects. Now, having clear, achievable goals helps you build momentum, maintain that focus, and avoid the frustration that often comes with unrealistic expectations. I'm going to sell 1 million books. I'm going to write 10,000 words today. But setting the right kind of goals and sticking to them can be challenging. One, you want to be specific, okay? The first step to being specific about what you want to achieve is vital, because vague goals like write more or finish my book can be overwhelming and make it difficult to measure progress. Instead, break your big goals down into smaller, actionable steps. For example, write 500 words a day or complete 3 chapters by the end of blank blank week. These are clear and specific goals that allow you to track your progress and celebrate small wins along the way. Now, the thing I'm going to show you today is we're going to break down how to schedule time blocks, and then within those time blocks, you can make the smaller specific goals whatever you want. But you're going to give yourself X amount of time to do a specific task, and then that task will have to-do lists, which a to-do list goal would be, right? 500 words. Okay. Now, step 2, schedule and limitations. Another important factor in setting realistic writing goals is understanding your own schedule and limitations. Consider how much time you realistically have to dedicate to writing, and be honest with yourself. If you only have 30 minutes a day, that's okay. The key is consistency, not quantity. Consistency, not quantity. Setting goals that fit your available time will help you avoid burnout and build a sustainable writing habit. It's better to achieve a small, consistent goal than to set a big one that leaves you feeling discouraged and you can't reach it. Step 3, accountability. Very important. Accountability can also play a big role in helping you achieve your goals. How so, Thomas? That's a great question. Share your goals with a writing buddy, join a writing group, or even just write them down in a place where you can see them regularly. Behind this red wall of doom, I have 3 whiteboards on my wall, and they have my schedules and my to-dos and all these other things and thoughts. So I see it every time I walk to my desk. I have to see it, and then I have to turn and sit down at my desk. Accountability adds an extra layer of motivation, reminding you of the commitment you made to yourself. And it allows you to celebrate your progress with others if you have those writing buddies. And that can help keep you encouraged and stay motivated. Step 4, and most importantly, you matter. Finally, be flexible and forgiving with yourself. Life happens, and there will always be days when you don't meet your writing goals. Instead of feeling guilty, take a moment to reassess and adjust your goals if needed. Flexibility is key to staying productive over a long time. Remember, the goal is progress, not perfection. I always tell people, I say, be productive today, right? Okay. Now, but what that means is, it's not. Some people are like, oh, work hard, and it's like, no, work smart, right? Like you have to change the perspective. Um, it's a to-do list, right? This is another thing I used to always say to my employees and clients and stuff like that. If a to-do list ever goes blank, what's there to do? There should always be something on your to-do list. The to-do list should never end. Like people, oh, I got like 1,000 things on my to-do. No, you have an infinite amount of things to do on your to-do list. It's your job to organize their basically what is the substance of the to do, and then you create time blocks that handle that substance. For example, oh, I gotta do some follow-ups. Well, that's a networking, so let me have a networking block, and I'll do that 3 times a week for an hour each block or 30 minutes each block, right? It's not, oh, I gotta, no, you start at the top, right? And you don't even have to start at the top. You can star things off. You go, today I have a networking block, a marketing block, a writing block, a financial block, this block. And then you go through your list and you star one thing from that would take it. Now you might even finish it before the block is up, whatever. But it's not about finishing things either. It's about doing things. And if you consistently do things, they do get finished. But you're not done. There's more to it, especially writing. Oh, I finished my book. Yeah, but you still have books to write. You know, you still have editing. You still have whatever the case may be. But give yourself some flexibility and leeway. Repurpose the way you approach your schedule. Repurpose the way you accept certain things. It's not about, oh, I got to get this done. It's no, I need to work on this. Right. Anyway. Okay. Like I said, there is a free schedule sheet for you in the folder. And I am going to show you. Let's take this off. Let's share the screen. Let's share the screen. All right. So I broke it up quarter hours. Okay. Now this is 6 a.m. It depends on what time you wake up, because I have this set based on people who have day jobs. And sometimes they wake up at 6 or 7 to get to work by 9, whatever the case may be. All right. And then I have the ending is at 5 because it's 24 hours. All right. Now, what you can do is you can set like let's say you wake up, right? You could set this up and you go boom, wake up. Okay, boom. So you're gonna give yourself an hour to wake up. You might give yourself a half hour shower, right? And then a half hour eat breakfast, right? This is like if you have like a job. Okay, drive to work. Okay. And then maybe you work until, let's say, 5. So then this is work my day job. All right. Now, when you get home, well, now it's going to take another 45 minutes to get home. Drive home. Okay. And then let's see. Make dinner and eat. So this will all be make dinner and eat. Make dinner and eat. All right. I know it says Sunday, but just whatever. All right. Now, oh, I'm sorry about that. Boop. Boop. Okay. Now, what time do you go to bed? Right? If you got to get up at 6, 7, let's see. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 12, 11, 10, 9. Let's say you go to bed at 11. All right. So this is all going to be sleep. All right. So that leaves you with 3 hours. Now, you can either spend an hour watching TV, right? Or you could, you know what? You go, you know what? I'm going to need a minute. Me time to relax. Then you go, I'm going to write. Writing block. That's it. Boom. And then maybe this is get ready for bed. So you're like, that entire day, all I had was this 1 hour of writing. But that's what it is. Okay. I would also color code. I like to do this. I might you could color code it like this if you want to make it easier so you could visually see it. Right? It's just a different color. Boop. All right, just so you can see it better. But you're like, Tom, that entire day was just I didn't get to do anything. I only got to write for 1 hour. Well, what if what if we look at work a little differently? Right? What if we look at you work until let's say this time, okay? And then you get an hour break. So why don't you do 30 minutes lunch and then 30 minutes, right? Okay, and then you got to work again, okay? This is all about trying to figure out what works for you and what doesn't work for you. All right? All right, there we go. This goes here. All right, well, anyway, doesn't matter. So you could do that. But then you might say, well, I have a day off. Well, if you have a day off, this is where it gets interesting, okay? Let's say Tuesday you have off. All right, and you get to sleep in. So this is you sleeping till let's say 8. All right. Sleep. Okay. And then you wake up and you do the same thing. So this is going to be shower and eat breakfast. We're going to pop this over here. Boop. Okay. Okay. Shower and eat breakfast. All right. Then maybe you go, oh, I got some chores. So why don't you give yourself till 1 o'clock? These are all chores, right? Errands. All right. Now you get to go run your errands and you give yourself 4 hours. Okay. So let's see. Now you get home. It's 2 o'clock. Right. If I were you, I'd do this much. Social media marketing. Right. You give yourself a half hour. Boom. Because you don't have to finish. You just have to work on it a little bit. And I'll show you some of that. And then maybe you do a half hour follow-up emails, right? And then maybe you do a half hour email agents, whatever the case may be, right? And this is the thing though, whatever it is I do, all right, making dinner, I'm going to try to always make that the same. I'm going to give myself some relaxed time. And then my writing block is always going to be the same. I don't need to write more on my day off. I just need to write that hour. And if I could write that hour every day, I'm accomplishing what I need to. I'm doing something, right? And that's the deal is like you need to consistently be doing it. Now, let me show you my schedule. Boop. Yeah. Every day. Now, I don't have a day job, quote unquote, right? So I'm a little luckier that way. That's why I could wake up at 8 a.m. So I wake up, I have my breakfast, I shower and get dressed. Sometimes I do that backwards, depending on how tired I am. On Sundays, there's no market, but what I like to do is I like to spend a half hour on looking at what tomorrow's trades might be. Like I'll look at some of my stocks that I have or whatever the case may be. Anyway, then I give myself an hour of personal time. This is I could do anything I want. I could work on a to-do list of like I got to vacuum, I got to start my laundry, whatever the case may be. This might be go run an errand, whatever. It's personal time. I have a to-do list for personal time. Then I give myself an hour for practice, learning, and development. So this is where I might read my self-help books. I might read. I might work on my guitar playing. I might work on writing, but not writing my book. Just practicing writing. So like I might work on how to write sensory better. Or I might practice on transitions better. There's a new thing I've been trying to get better, and that is moving through characters naturally, so I can go through like battle scenes where it like an arrow shoots and flies through the air, lands, and then like we pick up with another character because I'm trying to make it. I like writing cinematics, so I try to translate film and television to novels. I like because I'm a screenwriter, so then I give myself an hour of lunch, which is a little longer than a half hour, but the reason is because I like to breathe a little bit. Now, every single day, I do YouTube work, and this will be I should do that. YouTube work. All right. Every single day at the same time to create a habit from 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock, I do YouTube work. So I'll either write, I'll film, I'll do some marketing, I'll book guests for the podcast, or I'll clean up my channel every single day. All right. Now my videos come out on Wednesdays and Fridays, and that's 2 o'clock. Okay. So some days I do an hour of work, and then I have to sit there and watch the video at 2 o'clock and interact with people because it's important to me. Okay. Then on Sunday at 3 o'clock, I'll do some music stuff. Monday, I'll check trades because everything ends at 4:30. So should I sell? Should I not sell? And if you notice, every Monday through Friday, I do swing trading from 9:30 when it opens to 10:30 because I don't like to sit on it, but I keep it like even right now I have my chart up to the left. As you can see, I always start my work week Monday through Friday, even though I don't have a job. I still am a business. I still exist as a career. So I give myself a brainstorming half hour every day, Monday through Friday. I give myself alternating network market. So I either network by doing emails, follow-ups. Don't get me wrong. Like if somebody emails me, on a Tuesday at, 7 o'clock and I'm around, I'm going to respond to them. Like, people come first. That's a rule I live by. People come first. But at the same time, this is like focused networking. This is me going out of my way to build and cultivate relationships. It's me going out of my way to follow up with people I haven't talked to in a while. It's whatever the case is. Same thing with marketing. As you can see, every day at 12, I have lunch, right? And then, of course, every day is that. Track the trades. All right. Now, 4 o'clock. At 4 o'clock, every day I give myself an hour for clients. So I'm either writing a screenplay, a novel, doing developmental editing, whatever the case may be. Like I just got hired. Well, this video, when it comes out, it'll be done by then. But because I pre-recorded, I'm pre-recording my whole year this time for 2025. I got hired to do a pitch deck. So at 4 o'clock, I'm going to work on that for an hour. But I don't work on that Monday through Friday or whatever. Like I do a different client every day. And that has always worked for me. Now, if I have to, I will see this personal time at 9 o'clock. Sometimes I'll switch that and I'll do more client stuff. Or occasionally, if I have to, like if a client's like, oh, I need it by X date, I'll do client stuff multiple days in a row. Stuff like that. Okay. So I will adjust my schedule depending on it because again, I'm in control of things. Things aren't in control of me, etc., etc. All right. Then I do the dishes at 6 o'clock. Sundays I write my newsletter because I'm always updating it. I work on my website on Mondays, and then it's personal time. I can do whatever I want, my errands, whatever. Personal time, by the way, this might be where I do a half hour on client stuff, whatever it is. Sometimes people are like, I need a flyer, and I'll just make a flyer real quick for them because I have like retained clients from the old days that they're grandfathered in. So they pay me monthly, and they call me up and do stuff once in a while, and I take care of it. Then, as you can see, 7 to 8, I give myself an hour to 2 hours at most writing. But that doesn't mean I work 2 hours every day on writing. I will always work an hour, sometimes 90 minutes, but never more than 2 hours. So I just leave that blocked, and I do that every day at 7 o'clock. So that's basically, I have eaten my dinner. I took some time to do the dishes. I did a little something that doesn't take a lot of brain power, and then I write. Then after that, I give myself a mental break for an hour, and then I have Enchanted Isles role-playing game here for 10 o'clock, but this actually could be anything. It could be anything that I'm working on. It could be my self-help books that I'm writing, or at this time they're done. But if I have a second book that I'm working on, or if if I want to just do outlining for stuff, like if I want to outline other books where it isn't like writing, it's whatever. This is my me time. Then I give myself another personal hour before bed, and then look, I sleep. I sleep from 12 all the way to 7, and I do it again in the morning. So, as you can see, this is my schedule. Uh, and you know what's crazy? I will happily adjust things as needed. Sometimes I can't network because I have to go to a doctor appointment, and that's okay. Main rule is people come first. So no matter what I'm doing, if somebody calls, I talk to them. If someone wants to come out and visit and hang out, I hang out with them. People come first. People make the world go round. Me, swing trading does not make the world go round. It'll be there tomorrow, right? Plus, I have cells and stuff. So like if it goes under a certain number, it automatically sells. But anyway, this ain't a marketing. This ain't a swing trade channel. But I will also say this: when it comes to these things, let's say networking happens. Yeah, let me make this boop. If I have networking, right? Networking. Okay. And let me zoom in on this. Boop. Okay, let me give this some of this going on here. Right. Let me do this. Let me do all the things I normally do. Oh yeah. Get it on. Right. Things I would do with networking is email people, right? Text people, right? Or I could just say email, text, right? Okay. Follow-ups. What are follow-ups? Follow-ups to me are like if I hang out with somebody or I work with somebody or if I have a meeting with somebody or whatever. If I physically interact with them on a personal level, not like they commented on social media. Like if it has to be like a meeting or something. I'll do a follow-up. All right. And I try to do the follow-up within 3 days, but if you notice I have 3 networking. So it's always a day between networking. Anyway, so email follow up, maybe agents, um, research. What that means is I'll research somebody. So if I'm trying to make friends with a writer, what do they have going on? Are they working on a book? Are they marketing a book or whatever? And the reason I do that is because how can I help them? And I'm not doing it to get paid. I'm doing it. Oh, you know what? I know someone who is doing a meet and greet and they live in the same town. So maybe I should introduce them and be like, hey guys, you two should, or I'm just saying guys as the the royal people. I noticed you both are doing a book release. Why don't you guys do this thing together? Or maybe I know that I need to interview somebody. So I'm like, hey, I saw your book is coming out. Why don't you come on my podcast? We could do a thing about it, right? So the research isn't like how can I get hired because I don't need the money, right? So um, I want to build relationships. So I do research on people to see what they're doing. How can I help them? How can I promote them? How can I share their stuff? Who can I introduce them to, etc. All right. But this might also be research for agents. This might be research for managers. This might be research for local businesses like the libraries, right? Library. Okay. Why? Well, because I don't know when this video is coming out. I don't know when I'm scheduling it, but I did a class at a library. All right. I had to go and build relationships. But then like Mark, here's writing, right? Like a writing block, right? I could write book 1, book 2, whatever the case may be. I could even write do 1,000 words. Okay. All right, I got to do 1,000 words. All right, and that's pretty easy for me to do. I could do up to 3,000 words in 2 hours. Okay, but maybe it's editing or whatever the case may be. So why do I do this? What's another one that I have on there? Oh, personal time. So, like, let's say personal time, right? I might have mail stuff, laundry, clean bathroom, whatever the case may be, right? And then what I do is when it comes up, like when I get the personal time, what I do is I go here, and this obviously is the sheet that's available for you guys. So this will be gone. But on my own, this is huge. There's just tons of stuff because over the years I've been like, oh, these are things I should be doing. But if I get to the personal, I'm on personal time. I look here and I go, oh, mail stuff. Did I do that? If I did, I'll mark it off, right? And I just go down, and my list gets longer and longer and longer. And the thing is, sometimes I have to do more mail. I have stuff to mail out, so I might mail out stuff and be like, bills, whatever. Oh yeah, pay bills, right? And this might be, well, actually, I just have pay bills because whenever I pay my bills, I just do it in one shot. I do it on the first of every month. I just sit there and I just go through and I make sure all the bills got paid, and I pay anything that has to be manually paid. So that's just it takes me less than an hour, right? Which, by the way, my personal time is an hour. All right, so that's pretty much how I do it, and that's why I use block times, because I could get specific with that. Marketing might be social media, right? Ads. Let's see. Whatever. Get interviews, right? Podcasts, research, PR companies, whatever the case may be. All right, and this would be what I do, and every single one of these things, like even breakfast, you'd be like, well, what the hell is even breakfast? Breakfast, right? It might be eggs, right, and then pancakes. Right, it'll just be a list of foods that I need to eat or I want to eat. And then why is that important? Well, because when I go food shopping, I could just open up my phone and go to Google Docs and be like, what do I have for breakfast, lunch, and dinner? What do I need for the week? And I check to see. And like, I could even look in the refrigerator and be like, oh, I'm out of eggs. So now it's color coded. So now I know what. Can you see that? Yeah. So now when I'm at the supermarket and I look at my list and I go, oh, my eggs, I need eggs. So it's very helpful for me to be this way. I know it sounds crazy, but boop, boop. All right. Do you have time to dance all night? Final thoughts. Listen, your schedule is going to be unique to you. You're obviously not going to have everything I have. You will most likely eat something. You will have dinner, you will have breakfast, right? You'll have sleep, hopefully. But you might have a day job. And as you saw, if writing is your passion, it doesn't matter everything you did as long as you get that hour in of writing at any point in the day. And as you can see, I did a half-hour lunch, a half-hour write. And you're like, Thomas, you don't work. Yeah, but there was a time I did, many, many, many years ago in the early 2000s and the 90s and, the 80s. Because I started working when I was 12. I don't know. I worked at a pizzeria until I was 16. It was fun. I learned Venezuelan. I learned Mexicano. I learned Sicilian Italiano. Italiano. It was great. Great. I learned how to cook pizza. Fell in love with pizza. Anyway, so everyone's schedule is different. So you want to start thinking about what makes your world different. What makes your life different. What makes, when I say world, I mean like what are your responsibilities? So you should be setting realistic goals based on what your needs are, right? And if you write out a list of things to do, like your to-do list, which again should be really long, start organizing into what I would call time blocks. Going, well, what is this? If it's people, if it's relationships, it's networking. And by the way, relationships means that you either are trying to build a relationship, like a friendship, or you're trying to get to know them, or they are people you work with in the industry but aren't necessarily friends. You're friendly, but they're an associate. There's somebody that is in the industry that you work with, and you're going to see them occasionally. Marketing is about building awareness to your brand, and fans are not networking. That is branding. So anything to build a relationship with your brand and your fans and that brand is marketing. Practice is anything that you're going to do to learn your industry or develop your skills and your abilities. Even how do I network better would go into practicing. Uh, if it's money, I would say financial. If it's eating, if it's anything that has to do with consumption of food, it could be lunch, dinner, breakfast. Sleep is sleep, work is work. But like things like errands for your personal life, I would put as a personal block. And if you need 3 hours on a day, give yourself 3 hours. Now you saw my schedule. That's pretty tight. But again, if I have to adjust it, I adjust it. But I won't change anything because that's the schedule I want to have. That's the consistent schedule I want to have. But sometimes I have to adjust it because doctor appointments come up, or again, like someone will come visit, for a week, whatever, because or I have to, I don't know when. Again, I don't know when this video is going out, but I just got asked to be a producer on 2 different projects. So if I have to go to set, or if I have to go to New York, or if I have to go to an event for that, my schedule shuts off and I do that thing, right? But if I'm home and my life is I'm just on my status quo, I try to live by that particular schedule. But remember, don't be afraid to think outside the box and try to approach your schedule differently if this particular thing doesn't work for you. You got to discover your own unique rhythm as a writer and as a person. And everything you write is part of the evolving journey, and it's all part of the process. I would recommend writing no less than a half hour every day. Just as and at the same time every day. So you look at your schedule and you go, if I had other than like distractions, like I have to go to a doctor appointment or somebody hung us over, like what time and you just pop it there. But you just have fun with the process. All right. With that said, next video, where we're going to talk about staying productive. We're going to talk about creating a writing routine that works for you. Basically, we're going to talk about that 30 minutes to 2 hour block and say, all right, well, what is the writing routine? How do we kind of get that into motion? Question. What writing goals have you set for yourself recently? How do you plan to make them realistic and achievable? Now, again, remember, I had a writing block. So in there, it's really like I just write for that hour to 2 hours. And if it's editing, it's editing. I just edit for an hour to 2 hours. And then I stop. Literally, when the time stops, I stop. Things do not control me. I control them when it comes to my schedule. If I have to write, I don't really care how many words I get done. I just care that I wrote within that time period, because a little becomes a lot. Some things is outlining. Sometimes I'll use that time block to outline, especially if I'm done, quote unquote, writing a book and I'm on a new book. I'll just focus on outlining. That other block where it said the Enchanted Isles, if I'm not working on that, I'll outline other stories, because what that does, it helps me retroactively build and develop the stories before that moment, so I could kind of like seed and add things, and it always helps me. I'm always adjusting future books based on the books I'm working on, but I do work on those outlines and think like what would be interesting and how do I build to that, because I like my series and my sagas to sort of all connect. Anyway, if you haven't done so already, please subscribe and hit the bell icon so you don't miss out. And if you haven't done so already, I'm all out of it. Keep developing the right mindset. I'll see you next time. Bye.